So basically with everyone, YouTube, anime, and manga community already caught up with Fairy Tail, I thought it was my turn to catch up on Fairy Tail greatness. So, over the last 2 days, I have been sick. I've had the stomach virus, and that's why I really didn't do reviews this week, because I couldn't get out of bed, and this is the first day I'm actually feeling good, so I'm able to get out of bed a little bit and just kind of move around a little bit here and there. And so, what was I doing? I was reading that Fairy Tail greatness, fam. That's it. I marathoned through the Tartarus arc and up to this newest arc on the newest chapter. So this is just gonna be a video on just kind of all my overall thoughts on everything. I just got done with it maybe like 30 minutes ago. I finished everything and I had a little snack and I want to get my thoughts out there. So with the Tartarus arc, I do believe that is one of the greatest arcs in Fairy Tail, in my opinion. After reading that, it really brought on the feels, because we saw the death of Aquarius. Even though Lucy still has the key there, she holds on to it just for the memories and stuff. We do get some epic fights, especially one of my favorite fights in the Tartarus arc was Gray versus Silver. I really enjoyed that. It did bring out some feels there, just because Juvia had to kill the necromancer that was still controlling his father, that was keeping Gray's father alive, and Gray taking on his father and sending a steel ball through his chest, basically shooting him. And I mean, it was just really epic to see that. Not only that, we get this because she's Urza. And I really like that, like, with Mashima's imagination, you just really have to go with it. And if something happens, just it happens. It happens. And if something doesn't make sense in Fairy Tail, then get off my hype. Because this is Fairy Tail and I can do what I want. It's sort of, that's how I feel about Fairy Tail. Like, you can just pull whatever you want out of your ass here, and you still get, like, something here and there. And I did like that we did get to find out the truth about the dragons, and we haven't found out the whole truth yet. It's still a bit hidden, with Zeref hiding all his stuff going on there. Like, he did have Natsu sent off to the Igneel. Now, it wasn't explained why yet. Hopefully we will dive into it eventually. I feel like that will be delving into while we have this fight with Natsu versus Zeref coming up in the next chapter, possibly. I do like that with Mashima after reading this and really catching up to Fairy Tail and getting back into Fairy Tail again. I like how his arcs aren't super slow, but they're not like extremely fast-paced like Boku no Hero, where he takes his time, but each chapter does have a certain impact that does make it progress faster. Especially like with a series like One Piece, where you get very extremely little progression per chapter. Where on the other hand, Mashima actually gives us some progression per chapter, which I especially enjoyed that a lot. And I just do want to cover some more of the Tartarus arc on that. We finally did get to see Igneel and the rest of the dragons, and them get to help stop the face. And we do get to see a little bit of Natsu and Gray in the Tartarus arc, like, kind of have a little bit of a rivalry. Because what did Igneel want with End? Why did he want to take it back? Why did Igneel want it? Also, on top of that, why did Gray's father, Silver, say destroy it? Now, I do feel like that is something that does need to be addressed. And I feel like that's like what Mashima is taking a little bit from the Naruto versus Sasuke thing. And I remember seeing a couple of reviews from Forever World saying that it did remind him of Naruto over here. So, well, I mean, Fairy Tail, it steals a little bit from everybody. Especially the whole thing with guild arts. Looking like Shanks, that is. Now, it was epic to find out that Acnologia was actually a Dragon Slayer himself. Now, what type of Dragon Slayer is he? I don't think we know that yet. But he does look epic in his human form, and that he has now finally become a dragon. And we find out that the reason the dragons went into hiding was so they could prolong their life, because Zeref took part of their souls or something. And then on top of that, I mean, they had to survive inside their bodies, also to stop them from dragonizing or dragonifying, however you say it. And they essentially stand in their bodies just to prolong their life. But they I guess they kept they kept inside their bodies just to stay longer. And when they came out, they knew it was time they had to finally protect them. Now, why didn't Igneel show up the first time Acnologia showed up? I mean, that was during the Tenro Island arc. I don't understand that exactly, but Mashima just gotta go with what Mashima wants to do here. It was very exciting, and you did feel like Gray became a stronger character, and you do feel like, I truly feel like Gray is probably a stronger character, but after the 1 year time skip, I think Natsu made his catch up. And especially with that 1 year time skip, I didn't feel like it might have been necessary, but at some parts it was necessary. It wasn't necessary because he didn't have a good setup for it, like other series like Naruto or One Piece having a time skip. Like those types of time skips, those were understandable. But I feel like this was kind of just thrown in there, but it did make sense in the sense that all the Fairy Tail members did need to get a lot stronger and just grow a little bit. And we did see that with Natsu especially, and somehow with Lucy too, even though she was like a model and a reporter for a year, somehow on the side she trained, I guess. So, alrighty then. And then especially with Natsu, I feel like he's gotten extremely a lot stronger. And was it Guild Arts that trained him over the 1 year time skip? I'm not sure, or did he just train by himself to get stronger? Because now he seems to have the powers of Igneel within himself. So he's kind of like finally a humanoid dragon, sort of like Dragon Force, but in a different sense. You could say. I just got my thoughts out on that, and now just on to the 1 year time skip a little bit, as I've been going on a little bit. I think this newest arc isn't as good as Tartarus so far, but I am excited to see Natsu versus Zeref. We haven't truly seen the full extent of Zeref's abilities, and we did see that Mavis did have some type of relationship with Zeref, which I personally didn't expect, and how Zeref and Natsu are related. Does that mean Natsu is a corpse or something, and he's just brought back to life? It wasn't fully brought into depth, but he was created using the body of Zeref's younger brother, so that makes me think Natsu might be a corpse or something, which kind of freaks me out. And now, why did Zeref give up his little brother to Igneel? I still want to know more on that, and especially how Natsu got to Fairy Tail on top of that. Also, I'm really excited for this new Fairy Tail arc a little bit, not as much as Tartarus, but, I mean, they're the 12 Spriggans who are on the level of God Serena, and that was the #1 wizard. The #1 wizard in Ishangar, or however you say it, and he was the #1 wizard saint, and now he's on the side with Alvarez and their 12 legendary Spriggans or saints. We know already, like, I believe they've defeated Azir. I know they captured Lady Brandish. I know the Thunder God tribe, or Thunder God group, they defeated one of them. Now Loxus is after another one because they hurt them. So it's just very exciting. I like this whole feel of a war. I do feel like it is like the shonen typical thing to do lately, like ending on a war arc. So I do feel like this might possibly be the last arc in Fairy Tail. But nothing is confirmed yet about Fairy Tail ending, so you don't know. Either way, guys, I really enjoyed this arc. I'm really excited to see what Natsu's new abilities are after taking off his bandages. His right arm seems to have some extreme power inside of it. His ace up his sleeve. Maybe he actually becomes partly like Igneel, like we did see in the picture for the movie coming up. They did show us like one scene of Natsu like half dragon, but that was on his left side, so I don't know what's going on with his right side. And the bandages are on his right side, so I don't know, maybe he does become partly dragon, sort of like Acnologia. And will we have a final fight with Acnologia and Natsu? That is something I'm also looking forward to. And also, will it be covered Natsu versus Gray, who exactly is stronger? Because that's never something that's actually been covered in Fairy Tail. And it did come very close in Tartarus just because they had different opinions on End. So, this is just kind of my thoughts on this, and guys, what do you guys think? Are you guys hyped for Fairy Tail and this war? I quickly want to mention how I think it's kind of funny how Natsu one-shots a god after we've had all this build-up with what god slaying magic and all that in Fairy Tail, and then now we have Natsu one-shot a god. I hope you guys like my thoughts on the war arc. Make sure to like, comment, and click that subscribe button, and peace out, guys.